Hello, everybody, and welcome to the HCW Podcast. On this week's review show, we will be looking at Friday Night Smackdown, Extreme Rules, Monday Night Raw, and AEW Dynamite from Wednesday. Stay tuned. Let's hit the intro.
HCW Reviews.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I am joined, by always, by my esteemed colleague, Rate Wrestle. How are you doing today, buddy?
Living the dream, yeah. Just the channel's going well, which is nice. I've just realised that you said roll to the intro, that we need to change the intro, so I've just figured that out in the last second. So that's going to be fun to edit. But yeah, it's going well. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, off work today because I've been a bit under the weather. But yeah, we move, we keep going. Like we said, channel's growing, and in some excellent growth news from our side of things, we're going to be doing something a little bit more fun. Not that this isn't fun, but something that people can be a bit more interactive with. So what we're going to do is we've all seen them before on YouTube, CW series. So on Friday evening at around 8 p.m. UK time, we are going to be going live, myself, Rate, and DP, on our Twitch, which is the HCW show. So feel free to join us on there. And what we're going to be doing on the first episode is just making a draft. So we're going to be drafting wrestlers from wherever the hell we want on a real world database from the Who 87. And yes, join us for it. Get yourself involved. Get in the chat. Tell us who you want us to draft, who you don't want us to draft. But we're all going to have our own companies. We're going to be running worldwide. Otherwise, we'll be drafting wrestlers who no one knows anything about and we won't be able to do anything with. Well, yeah, it should be a fun little series, and we're going to be looking to get content out as quickly as we can.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah, feel free to join us. Yeah, feel free to join us on that. But yeah, without further ado, we will get cracking with Friday Night Smackdown. If you want to take it away, Ray.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll put a link in the description because I'll forget that otherwise. So I'm moaning myself now. So yeah, Smackdown. So we kicked off with the season premiere, which I completely forgot it was a season premiere of Smackdown. With good old Triple H in the ring, which it was just generally him going, "This is a new dawn, a new day, a new life for us." And he's feeling good. And then this was followed by the Bloodline. The Bloodline, I can't... Every time I say the Bloodline, I'm happy. I don't know why about it.
Yeah,
just
same.
Every part about them, like even adding Solo in there, the rivalry with Jay and Sammy, Roman being the ultimate champion forever. Like, used to, if someone had the title for 2 years, you'd be kind of like, oh, God. But Roman, I'm like, carry on.
No, but the storyline they've got going now, it was becoming a bit stale with Roman, because you knew he was always going to win by default and everything like that. They introduced Solo. Sammy's a bit more prominent now. Yeah. It's just made it more fun.
No, 100%. And like even the added like the rivalry between Jay and Sammy is like the best part about it. So they were just the general talk. Roman was just getting annoyed at Jay, and then out of nowhere, here comes Logan Paul, because they've got that match at Crown Jewels. Yeah. Logan was trying to put a barrier, but like a rift between Jay and Roman, saying that like Jay's trying to be the title chief, and it was just a fun little argument, I'll be honest. And Zayn got cheered by the fans, so he came in and went, "Hold on, I'm supposed to be dealing with him," and overall great. This was followed by a matchup with Solo Sikoa and Ricochet. Right at 2 3/4, it was a good matchup. Like, it weren't over the odd, but it was just fun, and it showed Ricochet's getting a bit of momentum, which is good. And Solo is just an absolute. He reminds me of Umaga, just like an absolute machine. So I can see him picking up a title, like a mid-card title at some point.
Yeah.
This was followed then again with the backstage segment with the Bloodline of the Usos and Sami Zayn having an argument. The New Day came along, and they were just having jibes against each other, and then they challenged them to a 3-on-3 tag team match, and the New Day laughed, going, "We're loved. We could get anyone as a tag team partner," and like Jay was like, "Oh God." Then this was followed by the debut. Well, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. It was Hit Row came down first, and then this followed by a debut of a new faction to SmackDown of Legado del Fantasma, who absolutely obliterated Hit Row. But they've got a new manager, so instead of I can't remember her name on NXT, which I feel bad now.
Yeah, no, same. I feel like it's.
Is it Katrina Cortez? I don't know if that's it just sounds familiar.
Yeah.
But they've took over with Zelina, which I think is a really good fit.
Yeah, same. I mean, it works. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do going forward.
Yeah, and it's a good team. Like, Santos is great, and the tag team will be good for the division because they need another tag team. And then Zelina's a good wrestler. She's just had a really bad character for a while. Like, she was Queen Zelina and no one cared, and it'll be good. This was followed by a straight-up squash match, which was Shotzi and Raquel versus Deville and Lee. I just rated 1 star. It was just the usual Raquel smash match. You can tell me the finisher again. I've already forgot it.
The Tijuana bomb.
There you go. She won with that. Straight up next was a bit of like a rivalry between. Well, Cross came down to the ring with Scarlett. Drew attacked them, then they had the strap involved. Drew got absolutely obliterated by Cross at this point, got whipped and everything like that. So that was obviously setting up to the Extreme Rules match. Then there was a weird ominous. Oh, this has got to be Sarah Logan. This the Viking thing. Yeah. It's got to be Sarah Logan, isn't it? Which I'm happy about. I love Sarah Logan, and obviously she is married to. I'm going to go with Hanson, but it might be. It's going to be Eric, I think. Actually, I
think it's Eric. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Eric.
But yeah, so it'd be nice to see her actually back. So Triple H is undoing all of the pain that Vince caused. Slowly but surely. Followed up next, we had the Bloodline versus the New Day and Braun. So this was the typical Bloodline match of Sami and Jay were ruining it for each other. There was a bit of the odd, like they were going to, like they were getting on, but then it just didn't happen, and it ended up with Jimmy getting blasted by the rest of the team because Jay and Sami were just arguing outside, and Braun did his choo-choo train and hit them. I did rate it 3 stars, though. I did enjoy the match. Like, it was a fun matchup.
It was fun, yeah. It did well. Braun's looking good as well. So.
Yeah. Like, it's just instantly everyone's forgot about what was happening between his WWE stint, which is good as well. It's just like it never happened. Next up, LA Knight is definitely LA Knight again, which is great. DP's crying right now, if you can hear him, if we were all silent for a second. There it is. And so both members of the Triple M were laid out, and then LA Knight was just basically saying, I don't know why I did this. This is me now. And I'm looking forward to it because he's great, LA Knight.
Yeah.
And then we ended with an absolute banger of a match, as usual, which was Gunther versus Sheamus. The rivalry that needs to never end. I rated 3 3/4. I rated it, so it wasn't as good as the Clash match, but because it had less time, which obviously it was never going to get there. Absolutely battered each other. There's controversy because Gunther did tap out, kind of, but I always thought a tap was free. I always expect a tap to be free taps, where he looked like he was tapping, but he was clawing. But it's obviously going to lead to a third match, which I'm looking forward to. But yeah, Gunther smash.
Yeah.
And
don't expect anything else.
Yeah, and I'm all well for it. So what was your overall thoughts on SmackDown?
Fun show. Like I said, SmackDown's becoming like a 2-hour show that feels like 1 hour when you're watching it. It does seem to fly, and the Bloodline is obviously the highlight, but they're doing well at getting other people over. Like we said, Braun looked good again. Sheamus and Gunther, they can just show that match every week, and I'll be happy. Ricochet's getting his bit of momentum now as well. So yeah, it's going really well at the minute with SmackDown, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, definitely. WWE in general, like wrestling's having a good time at the moment. So we'll move on to a good old Extreme Rules, which I watched before SmackDown, so it's a weird order anyway. So this kicked off with match of the night straight away, which was the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium. So it was just Sheamus and Gunther. We've added more chaos with obviously the tag team with Bartel and it's Kaiser and Vinci and Butch and Holland. I rated it 4 3/4. Like, it was so close to a 5-star match for me. I really enjoyed it so much. Just chaos.
Mate, it's just everything you'd want in a match. We knew going in that it was going to be great.
Yeah.
And it was even better than great.
Yeah, just absolute, it was insanity, absolute chaos from everywhere. The Brutes eventually picked up the win, which was good because they needed it, because Imperium were kind of smashing them and it was getting pointless for them.
Yeah.
But overall, you need to go check it out. Great match.
Yeah, 100%. If you get a chance, if you're going to watch any match off that pay-per-view and you've only got time to watch one, that's the match.
Yeah. Banger after banger after banger after banger.
For me, there wasn't a bad match on this show.
No. So. Extreme Rules. Even the weaker matches were still not bad. They were just... Yeah. You would expect a bit more from them.
The weaker matches were what we were classing as good under Vince. Yeah.
So that probably proves it. This was followed by a Belair package, which was just hyping a career and how she was going to be. And then it was followed by a weird segment with Miz and the hockey mascot that was stalking him like Loomis. It was hilarious. The hockey mascot kept stalking him. He weren't having it. It was just an odd thing. Next up was Liv versus Rousey. I said, I rate this 2 3/4, so it was still a decent matchup, but it was very clunky at the same time. And I'll be honest, the bat shots looked weird to me. Rousey's full on hitting her with a bat, but it looked like she's just spanking her. It's weird. I don't know.
No, I think the stipulation hurt this match because they tried too hard to incorporate the weapons and stuff like that. And I think if you're giving Ronda Rousey and Liv Morgan that stipulation, Rousey has to batter her. Liv can never get an advantage, ever. Rousey has to batter her, but it felt like it was quite a back and forth match. Mm-hmm. And with the weapons involved and Rousey being Ronda Rousey and Liv Morgan being Liv Morgan, it should never have gone that way. But it is what it is. It was still a passable match.
Yeah, and I think they got the correct winner in that stipulation. Yes. And Rousey... They made Liv look decent because obviously she didn't tap. She passed out. So a weird finisher. It looked like it could choke someone out, but the way it was leveraged just was weird at the same time. Yeah. And then we went straight into Drew Cross, and then he said Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross. This was also a 2 3/4 match, and the reason for that is I feel like Cross ruined the strap element instantly by not putting the strap on, because it was kind of like the whole point of it is the strap matches. You just kind of prove that you could just take the strap off at any time if you really wanted to. It was just like
point. You lost me when you said that you didn't put the strap on. That was me.
But it was fine. It was just a bit underwhelming for them too. And Karrion ended up picking up the win because fucking Scarlett maced Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, I feel like with Cross, he needs someone who can carry a match, and I don't think that's like McIntyre. He's not the best seller. Cross needs someone who can sell for him. Like his matches in NXT with Balor were great because Finn Balor can sell. Drew's too big to sell that well. Yeah. And I just think if you're having big man on big man, Cross, it doesn't work. Cross needs smaller guys who are going to sell for him.
Yeah, and also obviously Drew is because he's a main event star. He doesn't want to look weak either, so it's just the added element of that.
It just you can't. I wouldn't, and he's going to carry on. Which I hope they have better matches. I just can't see it.
Especially because what they're going to have to escalate. You can't go from this to a singles match suddenly. Like it's going to have to be like a cage or something like
that.
Yeah. Followed straight up with Miz and the hockey mask guy again. This time Miz kind of I can't remember if he got really annoyed at this point or hit him. I don't think this was the Loomis part yet, which I've already spoiled, but we'll get to that point then. Next up, which I thought was going to main event the show, but it didn't, was Bayley versus Bianca. This was a good match. I rated 3 1/4 stars. It was your typical ladder match, but it was the first ever women's one. You had good elements. I loved the cactus elbow that Bayley did to Bianca on the outside and the thing. She absolutely brutalized herself. both girls looked great, and it ended up with Bianca picking up the win, which I was 50-50 on who was going to win that.
I was 50-50, and then I was convinced that story-wise it'd make more sense for Bayley to win.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're in the predictions. I went Bayley in every single one, and so I was pretty gutted when I woke up and she didn't win, and I saw the results. But she's going to win the title down the line. It's going to happen. So.
Well, it's just going to. It needs to, doesn't it? It makes sense for the story.
Yeah, but I think Bianca's gone a little bit too far now. I think now was the time to drop it, but we'll see what happens. She has good matches. There's just no. I don't get a character. I don't get it. I don't understand Bianca Belair.
She's the EST of
yeah, but that's
it. This was followed by a very good match, which I was surprised how good it was Balor versus Edge. It was a lot brutal. Like they went around in the crowd. I rated 4 stars. Like they did the barrier spot with a spear, which you were always going to expect. They had the added element of obviously the Judgment Day on the outside. And it ended with a weird. Well, it wasn't weird. It was a good storytelling of Edge was never going to quit. Ray came down, tried to stop them. Ray got killed off, by the way. Like, he just didn't appear again.
Yeah.
And then Rhea was about to attack Edge, and then Beth Phoenix came out of nowhere. She then got clocked in the back of the head and laid out by some brass knucks by Rhea Ripley. And then Edge had to eventually to quit because Rhea Ripley threatened to do the concerto on Beth. So obviously, Edge went, I quit, in the most sad way I've ever heard in my life. He genuinely sounded like, I'll quit. I'll quit. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And then obviously Rhea was nice enough to go, you know what? I'm just going to concerto her anyway.
Yeah. But it's so good. It's so good because that is what would happen in that situation, right? I've got what I want from you. I'm going to do this anyway. Yeah,
well, what I'm just going to stop now. I'm like, and obviously progress the Judgment Day to an even bigger heel faction than they are now. Next up, we had Miz and the mascot again. So Miz had enough of it. He punted the mascot in the stomach. And then Loomis appears and chokes the Miz out, strokes his hair, picks up the mascot, and they walk off like they're best mates. It's weird.
Yeah.
And then main event time. We had the fight pit. So we had Rollins versus Riddle with special guest referee Cormier. I rated this 4 stars as well. It was a good matchup. It had a bit of different elements, like the top of the cage. I really enjoyed via that. Both guys did some weird, like hardcore moves. Rollins got knocked off the top of the cage, and then he ended up actually losing cleanly to Riddle, who choked him out. Just good match. Riddle needed this more than Rollins win-wise, and both guys just looked good in it. And Cormier didn't let it down either, I'll be honest.
No, he didn't do much, but what he was there for, he did well. But no, I think Rollins is in that sort of position where he can afford to lose matches now, and his star power is never going to go down or anything like that. And eventually he'll just start winning matches again, and he'll get another run as champion because he can do it and he can carry a company.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about him carrying championships in the next one soon. So nothing else happened at Extreme Rules, nothing important, so we'll go straight on to Raw. So Riddle was walking on the way up to the entrance with Cormier, got his hands through it, then it all went dark. Riddle just disappeared into, like, no one cared about Riddle, and then suddenly everyone had their lights on their torches, on their phones, and then you heard he's got the whole world in his hands, like Bray Wyatt actually singing it. So good. And the way they shot it as well, like they kept doing like panning shots to the characters from the Funhouse. So you had like the Vulture, the Witch, the Pig, and then they did a panning shot. And I genuinely thought the Fiend was Bray Wyatt in the front row. I genuinely thought that was how he was going to get introduced, and they panned out of that. Then they showed the door on the entranceway, and I thought, that's it. Yeah,
they had the mask on the announcers table as well.
Oh yeah, as well. And they saw the mask in the comments. Whoa! And talking about commentators, they've done the right thing. Corey Graves and Cole just doing the whole show, not just swapping commentators in and out. Great idea, that is. And then they did like a niche. Well, it's obviously Bray Wyatt did it, but they did a niche thing for Luke Harper. If you know Brody Lee, obviously, do you know how he entered in AEW where the door opened and it was the light and he was there? They kind of did a weird kind of thing for him, which was nice. Then they had video footage of the fun house, but like really spookily, and it was so good.
Dead slow music and everything, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then he had the mask it was like black phone mask, which was cool as well. And then the door suddenly flies open, and you see a lantern. And I thought that was going to be the end. You see the lantern, then that's the end of the show. But no, he starts. Some guy starts walking out of it. The fans are shouting "Holy!" And then, out of nowhere, he rips off the mask, and it is Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is back, and the best return ever. Like,
one of the absolute best returns that you'll ever see.
They've done it so well. Like, oh god, I'm looking, and I'm just looking forward to what he's doing. Yeah.
Well, we knew who it was. Like, everyone knew. As soon as the White Rabbit Trail started, we all knew it was Bray Wyatt. But it didn't take away from how good it was.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see him back. And there's obviously speculation about, is he on his own because of all the characters that it panned to and who these people might be. If they are like a full-on faction, it'd be interesting to see who they are. I kind of think that Bo Dallas might be one of them.
Yeah, because he's coming back, and so it makes sense.
Yeah. And then I think Liv Morgan might be the other one, as they are obviously together in real life as well. And then, after that, take your pick.
IRS. That's what I want. But yeah, end of Extreme Rules. Extremely good show. Really, really enjoyed it. But we'll go straight into another great show, Raw, which now I need to go find the notes because, as I said, I watched SmackDown straight after Extreme Rules, so this is in no particular order in my notes. There it is. So we kicked off with a fun instant segment. I knew it was going to be great, the DX part of it, where they had the three members of DX of X-Pac, Road Dogg and Shawn Michaels in the DX stops. They're going, I was speaking about Hunter and stuff, and Hunter's in his actual role as like in the gorilla position, like looking professional. And we're like, we can't do this. We can't do this anymore like this. And then there was 4 roosters, I'm going to say, for the we all know what it is. And then they were all swearing at each other. You can't swear, and then Michaels was swearing, and Triple H ended up swearing. It was just a good start to the show because who doesn't like DX?
Yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah. And then obviously to start Raw straight away, you need the bloodline because everywhere love it.
Season premiere, we're off.
So Zayn and Jey Uso still don't get on, surprisingly, after SmackDown.
This segment is
so good. Yeah, like even Riddle, the Riddle part of the segment. I love the Riddle part of the segment where he's just like,
go, yeet.
Yeah. You can't say yeah, we say yeah. Yeah. And then it was Riddle versus Zayn challenge Riddle to a match because Jimmy was going, he's disrespecting you, Oos.
It was dead funny because like Reigns is about to address Jey Uso, and he's like, no, I think I should do this, and Reigns is just like looks puzzled, and he's like, yeah, okay, and it's just like the dynamic between them is so good.
Oh, it's so good, and then like Zayn challenged Riddle, and Riddle went, yeah, Oh, but yeah. And then this was followed up by Gargano versus Theory, which I'm surprised. Everyone loved this match, and I thought it was a bit of a letdown for the match. Like, it was good.
I feel like I expected better because of who's in the match. Like, they can both go.
Yeah. And
I don't think they both went. That was my problem with it. Like, it wasn't a bad match at all, but I think they can do better.
Yeah, like match quality rise and Raw, it wasn't the greatest, but the show was good at the same time, which it used to be. Raw used to be the match quality was pants and the show was pants. So at least there was a bit of this. But it was good. It was just a bit lower expectations. I rated it like 2 3/4. It just wasn't there. It was like the weak pay-per-view matches. They're still good, but they just wasn't what I expected them to be.
This should have been done on pay-per-view for me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the story's there for them to have a pay-per-view match.
Yeah, especially. And Gargano picked up the win very clean as well. With the one final beat. This
There's
followed. Yeah, go on.
15 losses in a row for Theory. 15.
Mr. Money in the Bank. This was followed straight away by Gable versus Mysterio. It was a typically average match for both guys. Anything didn't go wrong.
No.
Rhea and Dominic came down as usual. Rhea had a bandage, like the rest in peace kind of bandage with Beth's name on, which was pretty cool because Rhea's the ultimate heel at the moment. They tried to get involved. Mysterio ended up picking up the win still. It's quite an average matchup. And then Dominic still was threatening Ray to hit him, but Ray still doesn't want to hit Dominic. And Dom hit the 619 on Ray, which is unbelievable, Jeff. With the help of Rhea. But yeah, I think Ray versus Dom is going to be a good match.
I think it will be because it's personal, like Cody and Dustin was. Maybe not to the extreme of how good Cody and Dustin was, but I think it'll be solid because there's like father and son. There's a lot of passion there. They'll build a good match. They'll be practicing that match now.
Yeah, they need to do a normal match and then for Dom to win and then to Ray to get pissed and have like a proper like first bloody kind of like absolute battering match it needs.
I think that it's gonna. I've got a feeling in my head that it's gonna go to Survivor Series and it's gonna be the Judgment Day against Ray's team.
Yeah,
possibly.
Ray, Edge, yeah.
And well, yeah, I don't want to ruin who the other three might be, but because that happens later in the show.
Later in the show, it happens pretty much next. So Finn has dispatched of Mysterio and stuff, and then he wants to speak about Uncle AJ. So they're talking. AJ comes down. AJ says he's finally realised that he needs his friends. Finn's really happy. They hug. And then you see AJ going, but it's not you. And then out of nowhere, here comes Gallows and Anderson are back.
Not seen since the Undertaker match.
Yeah. And honestly, like, they get a bad... I like Gallows and Anderson. Like, I don't dislike them. Like, I can see why people would, but I don't mind them. Like, they're fine.
It's Anderson gets the... Is it Anderson or Gallows? One of them
Anderson
gets
the brunt, yeah. Anderson, yeah, the smaller of the two. But when they were the OC, they were very good in WWE, so I'm expecting to be... And to have Balor and Judgment Day versus them is going to be good.
Yeah, well, so that's where I think it's going to go. Obviously, AJ, Ray.
Yeah.
The OC, as it is.
Yeah.
And Edge against Judgment Day. Don't know how they're going to get Rhea involved in that. I don't know if they can, unless they have Beth Phoenix.
As the fifth.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's going to be something that has to work there. But the OC being back, and I always remember him for the beat up John Cena stuff that they did with AJ. It was so good. So yeah, hopefully we get more good stuff like that.
And we used that in our Honor Club storyline, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, beat up RGX.
Good times. This was followed by, I don't know where I am now. Yeah, OC's back. Bayley was backstage discussing how she got let down. Dakota basically was saying that, she's going to win the title and stuff like that. And then Bayley challenged Candice to a match for, I believe, was going to actually, I don't know if it was already happening, she did challenge. Bloodline was backstage then, and Jay was about to leave with Roman. He went, no, you were staying here, Roos. And then he goes to Solo, you come in then, and then Roman, no, Solo's coming with us. So there is still a bit of distension with them. This was then followed by Bayley versus Candice, which was, I rated 2 stars. It was very, very weak. This is like a pay-per-view level match in my mind, but it's just a clean win, and I can believe it. Just a bit of nothingness, followed by the control, just damage control, absolutely laying waste to Candice LeRae, then laying waste to Bianca. So obviously there is a title shot in the future we're expecting again, and I can see Bayley actually winning it this time. Yeah,
it could be triple threat, and then Belair doesn't take the pin.
Yeah,
Bayley pins Candice.
Hopefully. Or Candice wins. Who knows? This was followed by a weird birthday bash for The Miz. He got a signed bat. He got 2 medicine balls, which he really liked because he's got giant balls and he showed his bat between the balls. And then Maurice went, open that present, lifted the present. Loomis like a whack-a-mole, just his head out the ring. Absolutely obliterates the Miz. Miz kicks Maurice into the cake. She misses the cake, and then he kicks her again into the cake properly. She has to kind of rub it on herself because it went that bad. And then they kind of escape, and Loomis grabs a knife, just cuts the cake and starts eating it. And I love him so much.
I like Dexter Loomis. I just don't like this story. Just I want it to be done. Just finish, please.
It's got to lead to something. It's a match next week, isn't it?
Yeah, but then they're doing it on Raw, and it should be something like this should end up on a pay-per-view. It's just.
They had a spot with DX backstage it was Robert Adams and Joseph Torres, and they were discussing how they're going to beat them two could beat Omos. Then the Miz comes across, and he's got his two inflatable balls that have been stabbed, and then Road Dogg makes a match between Loomis and the Miz because Road Dogg can book matches now. Even Michaels afterwards went, "You can book matches?" And he went, "I think so." Well, I have. So that was a thing.
Random.
So then Omos squash. That's just Omos smash. Nothing else to say about that. This led up to Lashley versus Rollins. But out of nowhere, here comes a wild Brock Lesnar. Comes down, lays waste to Lashley. F5. Flipping Kimura's him, snaps his arm basically, and then Rollins starts coming down and he's battered ribs.
Yeah.
Lashley's walking off because he's absolutely battered. Rollins is trying to coax him in, going, "You're a champion, you're supposed to this. You're letting your country down." And then Lashley's like, "America," and then he turns around and he has to get in the ring and have his match. This match was stupidly better than it should have been. I still rated 2 stars because it wasn't long, but for a match where both guys were absolutely battered and it should have just ended straight away, they made it fun. And it ended up with Rollins being United States champion, so you didn't have to wait long until he's a champion.
I didn't want to give anything away, that's why I said it the way I said it. But I feel like this title can be elevated again because I think Lashley's done some solid work with it.
Yeah.
But there was an interview recently with Lashley, I can't remember who it was with, and he pitched an idea to Vince prior to Vince obviously retiring, where he wanted to do a storyline where he gained a shed load of weight, got out of shape, fell out of love with wrestling, and he lost to a no mark on the card, like a proper jobber, and he just lost to him. Went on a downward spiral, and then he wanted someone like MVP to bring him back. So then he'd go and then lose all the weight, get back in fighting shape, and be Bobby Lashley again and build himself back up. Hopefully, he's going to pitch that again, he said, and hopefully New Year's, and they'll let him run with it, but it's something he really wants to do. So I think that could be fun.
That's commitment, though, because Bobby Lashley's literally shredded. So it's kind of to become fat when you're Bobby Lashley is going to be difficult.
Imagine putting on, he's going to have to put on 50, 60 pounds for it to look believable.
Yeah, legit. But it'd be a good story. Yeah. What was up after this? Revel in what you are. Bray Wyatt, that was the whole of him appearing on Raw. Just a small segment. I don't care. It was great. Revel in what you are. He's going to be on Smackdown.
Yeah. Is he, though? Is he? Are they just giving you little bits so you stay invested? Because I feel like they could do this for weeks. This could be like Veer all over again, and I'd still be happy about it.
Be at WrestleMania time and a bit like, "Oh, there's Bray." And then the main event, Sami Zayn versus Jey Uso. Not Jey Uso, Matt Riddle. I'm so used to saying them two together. Sami Zayn's reminding me of Cactus Jack right now, by the way, with his hair and his top and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Good match. I rated 2 3/4. It was more about the story of obviously Jey. Then basically Sami was saying he can do it on his own, but then he needed both of them, and the Usos. Jey was like, "No, we're not helping you." Like Jimmy was about to help, and then Jey went, "No, he's got to do it on his own." But the Tribal Chief said to Jey, "You need to make sure he wins." So I don't know what this is going to intend for SmackDown. But Riddle won clean with a good old RK Bro. And there's a bit of a dissension. And then I'll be honest, the next part was a very underwhelming, which was DX at the end.
Yeah, it was just. I don't think it was necessary.
Yeah, might as well just done this
I
as a
love
show
the
opener.
X.
Yeah.
They could have done it at the start, had a match, and then had the bloodline thing.
Yeah.
They could have done that. But yeah, this didn't need to happen at the end.
No, there was fun. Like it was fun, but it was also it's just I expected something to happen and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, it was just unnecessary.
I love how they are breaking the fourth wall with the fans now as well. They went like the other member of DX is doing stuff with a stationary now, and they're on about Billy Gunn and Scissor and
yeah. But they got the crowd to do his bit, didn't they? When Road Dogg does his shtick. They got the crowd to do the Billy Gunn bit, which I thought was good as well.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. Like, and I like Road Dogg's bits as well. Like when Triple H would, hold on, I need a breather, and then Road Dogg in the back going, I wish you let me have a breather. It was a good Raw overall. It was just the ending was a bit meh. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I think if they'd have ended on the bloodline stuff, which I actually think now, I kind of like. A lot of people have been saying they want to see Zayn take maybe the title off Reigns. I want Jey Uso to do it. That'd
be great, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. The way that it's going with the story, Jey Uso.
Why go full circle, wouldn't it? Because Jey Uso, they were in a rivalry at the start of his reign, weren't they? Really?
They were. Yeah, main event Jey Uso.
Main event Jey Uso. Oh.
Yeah.
That's going to be a storyline on TW for someone, isn't it? Can't pick the bloodline in one go, though. Jesus Christ. 6 members.
Yeah. 6 members of the bloodline, all top stars.
Yeah. Shafted straight away. And then we'll get on to, finally, good old Dynamite. So this started with Renee Paquette just being there. That's a thing now, which is cool, but it's also like they just threw it in your face at the start of the show. We got Renee.
People are making a big deal of this, and I like Renee Paquette. I think she's good at what she does.
Yeah.
But they're making it a bigger deal than it needs to be. She's going to interview a few people. She's going to do a bit of backstage. They're on about expanding and maybe doing different shows. She's going to do that. It's not a big get.
Yeah, it's just like she's the best you can get as a host.
Yeah,
but she's also just a host. It's like,
Yeah, she's not drawing your money really. So.
But it's still nice to see her, and I do like her podcast. I'll be honest. She's great as just wrestling sense. I don't care that much.
I like her as a person and everything like that. Like you said, podcast is great, but it's not a draw.
Yeah. So. And they did the typical thing. They got a hometown hero down, which was Cage, Christian Cage to confirm, because there's 7,000 cages out there. He was taking the mick out of Toronto, and then it ended up with Luchasaurus versus a Jungle Boy. This was a good matchup, very back and forth. Both guys look great. Luchasaurus picked up the win, which I was very happy about, because I thought they were just going to instantly Luchasaurus lose the Jungle Boy, and it would have made no sense to me.
He'll lose on pay-per-view. That's what
they need to figure out what they're doing with Jungle Boy, though. Is he Jack Perry? Is he Jungle Boy? Pick.
I told you ages ago he needed to drop Jungle Boy.
But he was Jack Perry against Christian, then he went back to Jungle Boy again. Now he's Jack Perry again, but I don't know if he's Jack Perry or he's Jungle. They need to pick something. Next up, they had Stokely backstage, who's brought out flipping the Private Party's contracts. I don't care. They've ruined Private Party so much. I've seen Private Party tagged like 10 times in 3 years, which is insane to think about it. And they're going to have a match with Matt Hardy, of all people, where if Ethan Page wins, Matt Hardy is now owned by Stokely. If Matt Hardy wins, Private Party is not owned by Matt Hardy anymore. No, owned by Stokely, but they're pretty. I don't care. I feel bad to say it's so random.
There's so many bad storylines on this show at the minute.
Yeah. Talking of bad, this was fine. It was just War Joe, stop it.
Yeah.
It's Samoa Joe and Wardlow. Stop War Joe straight away. Jesus Christ.
Call it Jolo.
Oh, God. They were facing The Factory, which was QT Marshall and Nick Carmarato. I rated it 3.25 stars. It was just a no interest squash match. Followed by the Embassy coming down. Some more stuff happened where the Embassy was saying like the Spotlight and War Joe, and there's going to be a 6-man tag, and because it's in Canada, Sean Spears is relevant. Oh, God. I feel like
Sean
I'm bagging
Spears.
on AEW, but just look, this run, is that always Sean Spears?
I always forget he's there, and then he randomly turns up with a chair, and it's just like, oh yeah, he's a thing.
And then out back they had the Jazz Society, Matt Menard, the other one, and Jericho. Jericho can be people now, which is slightly annoying me too. It just literally I writ here tonight, Tony. I'm 2012 Jericho, because that's how wrestling works. You can just suddenly be someone. It's like, I'm not just a sports entertainer. I'm the Lionheart Jericho now. It's like, no, you're 2022 Jericho.
No, he's not. He's 2012 Jericho.
Yeah, no. I'm 1995 Lionheart. It's like, that's not how it works.
It is now.
But look, it's still fine. It's just, I think it's hilarious.
It's like when you used to play football when you were a kid, and you used to
I'm Messi.
shoot and be like Shearer or something like that.
Yeah, my
Running
mates,
around with the one arm, like "Whoa."
proper random segue. My mates used to do that. I've just been told to reschedule an interview balance. So my mates were like, they would say, "Oh well, okay, yeah, I'm playing like Messi today and stuff," and I'd just go, "I'm playing like someone like Scott Parker." I'd just pick a random, average Joe player. I'm playing like Jimmy Bullard.
Yeah. Oh, Jimmy Bullard was great.
Yeah, but like they're going like Kaka and Ronaldinho, Bullard.
Bullard, here I am.
I'm Tom Huddleston. Anyway. Next up, we had Daddy Ass and versus Swerve Strickland. Billy Gunn is on something. There's no way that man is that ripped. Like, look at him. Like, obviously it's legit. I'm not saying this is a joke. He's definitely not on something. But like, Jesus Christ, the man's 60.
Yeah,
and he could bench press a house. So yeah, this was I rated 2 1/4 stars. It was decent back and forth. Swerve ended up cheating to win by grabbing the bottom rope. Then this was followed by another, like, there's so many storylines they need to sort out, and this is going to be my TUW series where I'm just going to have too many storylines that make no sense. So here comes Mark Sterling, who now owns the rights to scissoring in wrestling. He had to confirm it's in wrestling just in case any porn couldn't be mentioned. So, they're not allowed to scissor anymore. Okay. MJF backstage. He was about to discuss with Officer Bar Brady from the South Park that he's going to was he going to shake Finger's hand? Stokely interrupts. MJF loses his mind and going, "I didn't ask you to help me, stop interrupting me. I don't ask you, blah, 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 get out my shot." And then MJF cut his worst promo in AEW in a while. I don't like him being facey.
No.
It just sounded weak. It sounded like a Hulk Hogan spiel. You might as well have said the word brother in it at some point. It was just like, I love MJF. I just wasn't into it. I need to be the bad guy. And that's next up, Moxley and Hangman, and I'm actually caring about this, I'm going to be honest. Like, it was odd, because they're making Hangman into a weird psycho where he was hitting himself. And he actually was hitting himself, like his mark on his head, and then he was rubbing himself to see if he was bleeding and realised he wasn't, and he was like, oh. It's going to be a good match. Moxley's got to win.
Yeah.
Because they can't stop trading the title so much. Moxley's got to hold the title for a while now. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's gone like Moxley to Punk, back to Moxley, and
it's not Moxley's fault, but it's not AEW's fault, but it's just they need like a 6-month reign or something like that now.
Yeah, we say it isn't AEW's fault. I would say it's AEW's fault. I mean, control your locker room. People don't get suspended. Hunky dory. Moxley's the right guy to have it in all this.
Oh, I can see how you're going to run your show. Like an iron fist. But yeah, this was followed by, which annoyed me, because I knew it wasn't going to be a normal finish. The ROH Jericho versus Danielson match is a main event match all day long. Why is it going on now? Because there's going to be some funky shit happening. And it did happen. Good match, rated 3 1/4 stars. Both guys look great. instantly, we should have realised that something was going to happen because Aubrey. I get her so mixed up with Audrey Hepburn so much. Aubrey wasn't reffing, which instantly means because she refs every Jericho match, but there was a bump happening, and obviously she weren't going to take that bump. So the referee gets clocked. Jericho's about to hit Brian with the title. Garcia comes down, grabs the title and goes no. Brian Psycho knees Jericho, and then Garcia lays out Brian, and then Jericho ends up picking up the win. And it's gone full circle that Daniel Garcia is now back with the Jazz Society. I don't know what they're doing.
No, but I mean, I suppose it extends it a bit. I think eventually he's going to join the PCC, but.
I don't think he will though, because there's not like they seem like a trusting faction. There's no trust now, is there? Because he keeps flip flopping, and Regal's already said that they need wrestlers to be outside the BCC to have good matches, so they don't want every good wrestler in the faction. But it was fine. It was a good match. Jericho's ruining the Ring of Honor title for everyone in an essence of in a good way. I don't mean as in he's ruining it, but like he said, he's going to ruin it for everyone, and he has. Like he's beating all the champions. It's good. And a weird segment next because I don't watch Rampage. It threw me for a second that Nyla Rose is the TBS champion. I was like, what? And then like they came over and went, oh no, she actually stole it. Nyla Rose has got a bit of character suddenly, and I love it. Like they actually gave her character, and it was fun. She was just challenging people to matches because Anna Jay is a worthy champion. But yeah, they gave Nyla Rose character, and it's good.
Yeah, I'm happy about it. Like I said, she's now got what Belair needs. A character.
Exactly. Like, next matchup was fine. Shida and Storm versus Baker and Hayter. I rated 2 3/4. Very good finish. I like the roll finishes where you don't know who's going to win. It reminded me of British Bulldog Hart. You know, that roll finish where it's suddenly... I like that kind of finish. Shida's looking good. Which is great. Shida's a double champion in Japan, which they had to mention, which is good as well because, you know, look at all the gold. And the only thing that let me down is Storm is the champion, and she felt like the weak kind of part of this match. Like, everyone's behind Hayter. Baker's the ultimate heel. Shida, they're pushing, and then Toni Storm's the champion. It's like she's just there. But yeah.
The other three are being built to her. And she's just like an afterthought, even though she should be the end goal.
Yeah, they did a weird thing, though, with Saraya, didn't they, where they made her introduce Toni Storm, and it's like, she's the champion, what does she need introducing? Saraya wasn't on TV at all, thinking about it, was she?
No, she's in the UK.
Oh, she's at Norwich, isn't she, for the that time? Yeah,
she's back next week.
Excellent. Main event time. So this was Pac versus Cassidy for the Pacific Championship. That's the one.
Yeah.
I rated this 3 1/4. No, I've rated 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed the match. Both guys went all out for it. They did a throwback spot with Danhausen, which I find Danhausen funny, so it is hilarious. So Pac tried to grab the hammer again, but Danhausen had like 50 disguises on, and he had to remove each one with his one hand because he was holding the hammer. Then Pac ended up still getting the hammer in the ring. Cassidy ended up with the hammer. He gave it to the ref, got rolled up, but nearly lost, but didn't. And then Cassidy orange punched him twice and picked up the win. Couldn't believe it. Cassidy's your new champion.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had a bit of a chat about it before, didn't we? I don't think Orange Cassidy's character needs a championship. I'm happy for him. Doesn't need a championship, but we'll see what happens.
It depends if they make him more legit, because he wasn't as comic in this match. Like, he's been a bit more aggressive in his matches, so it depends on what they do.
Yeah, if his character's going to go that way, then fair enough, but he's always been the same Orange Cassidy that he was on the Indies, so for me, that character doesn't need a title. But they'll be giving Danhausen titles soon, so...
No. They'll make a championship up. But yeah, that's the end of this week's wrestling.
No, perfect. And I feel like it was a good week of wrestling, including the pay-per-view as well. Match of the week was the Brawling Brutes, I believe, and Imperium. I don't think you rated anything higher than that on
4 3/4. So unless I rate something 5 stars, you know.
No, I can't. I couldn't remember. I was just like, no, I'm sure it was 4 3/4 or 4 1/4. I got the 2 in my head.
Yeah, well, my 2 matches of the week, them, and then that was a pay-per-view match, and then they were my match of the week for the normal shows anyway. Gunther versus Sheamus. Sheamus is banger after banger after banger after banger. My headphones nearly fell off.
Just go and check them out. Go and check out both their matches because they were great. But yeah, so that brings to an end this week's podcast. Like we said earlier on, we are going live on Twitch tomorrow at around 8 p.m, depending on DP, because the man's never on time. But yeah, we are aiming for 8 p.m. So if you want to join us, we'll put the link in the description of this video so you can join straight away. Because Rate can do all that fun stuff for us.
Probably.
But yeah, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will see you on the next one.
Kikso!